Welcome to Red Hot Marriages. This is the podcast where intimacy, connection, and covenant come back into God's design. I'm your host, Coach Yolanda, the nation's premier marriage and relationship coach. And today we're talking about the role of friendship in marriage. Friendship in marriage. I tell you, a lot of married people can say, girl, when we got married, we was friends. I could talk to him about anything. Yeah, we could. But as time goes on, and jobs and babies and aging parents and life be life, and we fall away from the intimacy, the closeness, the communication, the chasing, the pursuing that we did when we were dating. Is it right? No, but it can happen so very, very easily. Here's the truth most couples overlook. Passion fades when friendship dies. Ooh, did I say die too strong? Passion fades when friendship dies. Okay, for when friendship diminishes. How about that? Friendship builds your emotional safety because your friends, you're playful with each other. Because you're friends, you trust each other. You're curious about what's going on in the other person's life. And because you're friends, you desire the best for them. Without friendship, intimacy becomes routine, mechanical, distant, or non existent. Did you hear what I just said? I said without friendship, intimacy can become routine, mechanical, distant, or non existent. When couples stop laughing together, when they stop talking deep, when they stop being curious about each other's day, desire slowly begins to fade. But all is not lost. Friendship can be rebuilt. And when your friendship returns, your passion will follow. Did you hear what I just said? I said, all is not lost. When your friendship returns, the passion will follow. Hey, I want you to stop what you're doing. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We want you to share this with someone that you know that is needing support and healing in their marriage. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming. I have a question for you. This is your reflection question. Ask yourself this: would I still enjoy my spouse if we didn't have sex? Well, what? What did Coach Yolanda say? I said, would you still enjoy being with your spouse if you weren't able to or didn't have sex? Yeah, I landed the plane. I talked about the elephant in the room. I'm trying to ask you, is that all you have? Is the only relationship you have with your spouse sexual? If you can't enjoy being with them without having sex, then your friendship needs to be healed because there's more to a relationship than sex. And that's just not stuff that we talk about when you're engaged. We talk about that stuff when you're married too. There's more to being married than having sex. friendship needs to be the foundation of a healthy marriage. I feel like I'm talking to my premarital couples. Friendship needs to be the foundation for a healthy marriage. So if something happens, teaching purposes only, and your spouse has a medical condition or injury and they can no longer have sex, you won't be thinking about divorce because that's not the reason you married them. That was icing on the cake. That wasn't the cake. So if you're married to somebody and sex is the cake, your friendship needs some healing. Here is your exercise for the week. I want you to write down 5 questions that you never asked your spouse, but you wish you did. So it's not deep. It could be, you could ask your spouse, what is your greatest fear? What is your greatest desire? What are you believing God for right now? These are things that you probably know about your friends. You need to also know these things about your spouse. If if money wasn't an issue, what what would you do? What would be your dream career or dream activity? What would you do if money wasn't an issue? If you could give to any charity, what would it be? What do you feel like your purpose is? What do you feel like God has called you to do? What problem were you meant to solve in the earth? Any question you want. 5 questions that you've never asked your spouse, but you should have. Write them down, and your assignment is to talk about it. Because we should be talking to our spouses at least 10 to 15 minutes every day. So if that's not a routine that you are currently doing in your marriage, I challenge you to have 10 to 15 minutes a day where you talk uninterrupted. No cell phones, no TV, side by side on the couch, across the table from each other, eye to eye. It could be over dinner, but you need to have 10 to 15 minutes where you just speak to your spouse and y'all talk uninterrupted. Maybe you have to do that when the kids are in the bed, but you do that because it builds your intimacy. Check out the affirmation for this week. It says, my marriage is rooted and grounded in friendship and desire. I love that. My marriage is rooted and grounded in friendship and desire. I love that. Not just sex. No, we're not just rooted and grounded in good sex. No, we're rooted and grounded in friendship. If this episode spoke to your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Like it and comment below. Subscribe and share it with your spouse or friend or another couple you know who needs hope and healing. And if you're ready to go deeper, download the free intimacy guide in the show notes. It'll help you begin this rebuilding connection starting today. Join our free school community called Red Hot Marriages, where we engage and support couples on the journey to reset intimacy in their marriages. That link to join the school community will be in the show notes. And remember, your marriage is not broken. God restores what we are willing to bring into the light. Until next time, protect your covenant, pursue your spouse, and keep your marriage red hot. Until next time.